Okay, here's some yearbook stuff you gotta know. I recorded it, then I sped this thing up, so I'll try to keep up and remember what I was doing as I go. First of all, use an external mouse. Touchpad will drive you crazy. Second, you can see here, kind of, that I'm opening two tabs at once. And I copy and I paste. And I always have two of the same pages going at the same time. Not the same page necessarily, but it's really handy because I'll jump from page to page without having to actually go from page to page, because I just go tab to tab. And I'll show you a little more later one good way you can do that. So you can see I go to create. That's where you spend most of your time. And there's page designer, page ladder, image library. Most of your time is going to be spent in page designer. So I'm on a blank page here. This is page 1. It defaults there. I believe I'm going to go from page to page. You can see those arrows at the top. I click over, it goes to page 2. That's like turning a book. You can just type right in there the page you want. You don't have to go from page to page one at a time. Or you can click up there in those tabs, those vertical column of tabs. There's pages. And now I can scroll down and see the whole book in little thumbnail fashion. Some of them are done, some of them have pictures, some of them are totally blank. So I'm going to pick one that's totally blank just for the purposes of our exercise. And you can see at the top it said this is whatever that says, 652 or something. And now if it's blank, I'm going to go over to my vertical columns and I'm going to use a design. And I'm going to use a template so all of our yearbook looks kind of the same. It defaults to ambition, you can see. Now look in there, there's all those options for designs. Currently we're using Living It Up. If it's this year 2016-17 that you're watching this, that's the year. If it's a different year, then it's something else. And then I have all these options, not a lot of them, but there's enough and they look similar enough that it's going to be a nice uniform clean book. So for this example, I'm going to go to sports. So there's two options for sports. I'm going to click this one just because, doesn't matter. Existing content, always say no. And you can modify this as much as you want, so don't feel like you were trapped in the confines of the preconceived templates of Josten's. All kinds of stuff you can do. We're going to start with photos. So on that vertical column of tabs, you click on images, go over to the drop down, you're going to find, let's say, sports, fall, and men's soccer. So now you have a bunch of soccer photos and they're all really good and they're really small, and who can even tell what's going on. So there's three things you can do. This is the worst thing. You take one, you drag it in, and you see what you think. That's too time consuming. So maybe you want that one there or whatever. Here's another way you can see it better. You go up to where my mouse is now, click here, and instead of two columns you have one column. So these are slightly bigger, a little easier to work with. If that's good enough for you, that's good enough for you. But what I like to do is go to my other tab, go to Image Library, and then I open up my soccer photos. And then I blow up the photos as big as they go with this thing. It makes that noise. And now I can scroll through and I have a pretty good look at what looks like a good photo. So if I want to use it, or if I want to use just part of it, or this one's nice and horizontal, whatever, I can form an idea here and I can jump back and forth. I do this all the time. So now I go look for those photos that I just saw, and oh, here's number 9. Where's that guy? Where's my number 9 I really liked? Yeah, I don't know, a little touchy. This is a Macintosh and I'm breaking my own advice. I'm using the touchpad and not a regular mouse. Otherwise I'd have found this guy by now. So let's say I want him right there. That's the shot I want. Now I believe, okay, you double click in there and then you can slide it around and look at this bar. You can zoom in and slide it around some more. This is essentially the same. This is cropping a photo. That's what you're doing. If you want to zoom in on number 18 and maybe you want to put them over there on the right later, that's what we do. We do all the time. You could use the same photo 3 times and no one would know, depending on how you crop it. That's really slick. So let's just say I want just number 9. I don't want the defense. Now I got a pretty good photo. I'm going to go into Format tab because that's where I'll spend most of my time actually. So the format, we can do cool stuff. And here I'm shrinking the photo, making it a little more vertical. Zooming in a little more. Let's get this number 9. Those shoes are too cool not to include, right? Alright, so let's talk about text. Baby. Alright, so there's the text box. Sport headline goes here. This is how your grandpa would do it. He would grab all of it and then he'd delete it and then he'd start typing and then he would go read Reader's Digest. That's not what you should do. You should click inside of there, get to know your keystrokes, Control A, that selects all. And now you can just start typing men's soccer, or put it in all caps or whatever. It's really important to know how to click inside and how to select all, because if you use the headline there is already, all you have to do is change the words. You don't have to deal with font or placement or size or anything like that. Remember, shortcuts. Here's another thing with text. So I got this box over here, and that's too big. Oh, let's work with this small one. So I'm going to change the photo first so it's just our goalie. Alright, and now I want to type about our goalie in this font box that they give you, text box. So first I'm going to zoom in, so this top right, I usually go 100, 150. Those are pretty much the only sizes I use. 100, 150, and fit. Alright, looks like I decided with 150 because this is a small box. So in this case, I am going to click and select, because if I select everything at once, it's going to select all of it, and there's 2 different colors and 2 different sizes in the same box. So whatever. I'm just going to select the copy, and I'm going to write Ronaldo Smith defends the goal because he is an awesome guy with a cool shirt. And then I'm going to select this other part. So remember, this is a different size, different color, etc. And this is your caption lead in, so I'll write something. I'm sure it was clever. I don't remember what I put. Oh yeah, goalkeeping, because it's close to New Year's. Should have put resolution keeping. Or defense, clap, clap, defense, clap, clap. Ronaldo Smith, there it is. Did I change my defense? Oh yeah, I changed the color, because this is not our school color. That's the default color. So we're going with something more purple. Even though it says grape, don't tell our marketing office. She would not be thrilled to know. We went with grape. Alright, so that's how you deal with text. Now I'm over on my vertical tabs. Don't remember why I did this, but I'm sure I had a good reason. Oh, so I'm jumping to a different page. Okay, other things to do while we're in format. So I'm in the format page, and remember, you can do all kinds of edits on text and on photos, and I'm only showing you kind of the rudimentary stuff. Apart from text, you can also do all your elements. So you can see here I grab this bar, I'm moving it up and down. Maybe I want it here, maybe I want it smaller, thinner, whatever. I actually like it how it is, but I just want to change the color. So over here I can once again go change it to something more purple or more grape. Again, don't tell our admissions office, because that's our school colors. But you know what, I'm going to go with grayscale because that's also our school colors. And then there's this other big neon green thing here. So what should I do with that? I'm trying to click. I can't get to it. I keep clicking all these text boxes or picture boxes. That's annoying. So I'm going to zoom in, and I'm going to move one of these out of the way. Move, man. And now it's going to give me a red X, and that red X is going to say, this is no good, you can't publish. And I'm like, I know, just chill. And then I select the box that I want, and I go in there, and now I can change the color. Okay, so I'm going to go with grayscale, put this box back where it was. Now that's good to go. Looks like we have a nice, well, you'll throw a photo in there. There's a photo. Is that our same guy with the shoes, number 9? Don't know. So it's small. We could zoom in if we want. Leave it as. Put a quote next to it or whatever. So you can see here I can change the size, of course. Now I'm just showing off. Okay, put it back how it was. Over here, bring forward. It's already forward all it goes. Put it backward. Sorry, we're going to send it to the back. These little icons are really crucial because you have something like this where it's covering up what you want and you're like, what the heck? How do I? This is how. Bring it forward right there. Corner rounding, you know, maybe sometimes it's fun. I like 24. Those other things, either self-explanatory or unnecessary. I'm just giving you the finer points. Stroke. Take a look at stroke. Stroke's kind of fun. I'm going huge, 9, so you see what it is. Basically a frame, a border around it, and then I change the color. You can do that. Now let's zoom out. See, we got a really nice page here. Okay, not so much. We got to get rid of that stroke. It's way too big. Bring it back down to 3. And leave it purple. Whatever. Ignore that. Alright, here's another thing you're going to want to do for copying and pasting and for deleting. Let's take a look at, for example, the scoreboard here down on the left. I always delete these because I don't want to do the homework of getting the scores. And so first I'm clearing some space. I'm going to click in no man's land where I don't grab anything, and then I'm going to make a huge box around whatever I want to select. Zoom in a little bit. You can see I've selected this entire scoreboard. Maybe I want to move it, and it doesn't matter what it is. Maybe I want to move it here. Maybe I want to move it here. That's where the scoreboard should be. Okay, I like that. Oh, you know what? Actually, I think it should be up top, right up by the headline. Pretty good. Okay. In truth, I already told you, I already always delete these pretty much. So I delete it. And that's how you delete something all at once. You can grab multiple items to delete. You can grab multiple items to copy or to drag or to whatever. I'm clearing a whole space here because I thought I'd do a good idea to copy a bunch of stuff and paste it in there, and then I realized that was a horizontal space and I needed a vertical space. So let's grab something that's vertically oriented. That's this. I want 2 of those. I like that so much. That picture, small caption, combo, whatever. I copy it with Control C. I paste with Control V. On Windows, of course. I drag it over here. I should have gotten rid of that first. I didn't. I'm a fool, but you know how to now. Zoom in a little bit. Move the text box. And then you can delete it. And then put the text box back. Or just, oh, that's not what I did. Well, anyway, hopefully you were watching. I put it to the back and then deleted. Okay, so over here in these, this is the last thing. It's not the last thing. One of the most important things, though, is that I want to say prepare to be annoyed. You'll notice as you do this that when you click and to grab something to move it, you'll grab the wrong thing. Or when you thought your mouse was here, it was actually here. Or when you thought you were typing in one place, you're typing in another place, or whatever. So here's what I say. Get to know your keystrokes and use a mouse. Keystrokes. Get to know your keystrokes. They'll save you time and frustration. Keystrokes are good in every program, not just Josten's. I use them literally every day, usually in Word and Google Docs. So right here I just did Control A, or on a Mac Command A. But in this case there's 2 fonts, so I might actually click and drag. Control A is select all. That's way easier than grabbing everything, and every time I do this, so students always say it's the same thing, but it's really not the same thing. It's like if you have to wear hiking boots or wear running shoes. If you go across the room one time, it's not going to make a difference. But if you're going across the room non-stop for an hour, that adds up. Alright, so running shoes makes sense. Look here, I just learned how on a Mac to change tabs with some keystrokes. I never knew that. That took me like 7 seconds to learn. Okay, here I just Googled keystroke shortcuts. There's a million of them. You really only need like 5 or 6. Here's the Mac keystroke shortcuts. Same deal. There's a million of them. You don't need all those. Just memorize the basic few. Come back here. Here's the other one. I'm getting into Control Z. If you don't know what Control Z is, then you probably never used a computer in your life. Control Z is the, oops, I didn't mean to do that. Put it back how it was before I accidentally did that. So here you can see I'm clicking all around. Control A, selecting all the items. I click inside of this box. Control A, I select all that text. I accidentally deleted it. Oh no! Control Z, get it back. Boom. You can't see my fingers and you can't see my keyboard right now, so you're just going to have to trust me that you hit the control button and then the Z, and it undoes whatever you did. Another thing you can do with keystrokes, this is not as crucial. Oh, there's some copy and paste. Control C, Control V. That's what I did. And then I deleted it, whatever. Another thing you can do is change the font size. You can select it and then do this. Go ahead and pause the video right now and read that. Same deal as before. You can say, well, I can just select it and then scroll over here and change the number. But I'm telling you, it's faster. And it also works in Word, the same keystrokes, and in Google Docs and everything, the same keystrokes. Get to know those. Get to know those. You will be happy you did. The end.